Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Chel. A lot of news to go over, especially as just before I hit record on this, EA dropped a new promo for an event that is coming. The Face Off Season 2 from Amazon is being released tonight for the NHL, and it looks like there is a promo running alongside it. So we did get a image of, looks like a few Master Set player items that we're going to get. So I will throw it up on the screen here. But Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, obviously they're prominent members of the series and as well the cover athletes. Mikko Rantanen as well as Anze Kopitar, all at 86 overall. So crazy. I understand the reason for Matthew Tkachuk, but his third MSP already, which is just a pretty crazy. Anyways, so we are going to get that. It looks like it's going to run from October 7th to October 24th. So this is going to be there for, looks like over 2 weeks, I believe. So interesting to see how that plays out. But obviously it's running alongside the Face-Off series from Amazon dropping as well. So that is cool. We get another more content. I'm not going to complain about that to go alongside week 2 of the marquee event, which was already leaked, but I haven't released anything on it yet. So we'll wait and see the MSPs and all of that. Maybe they got adjusted in terms of their attributes as well as the fantasy event. That being said, we also got HUT Champs rewards. One of the biggest questions I got yesterday is, what do I do with my HUT Champs collectibles? I'll be honest with you. Looking over if you guys haven't seen it, there is a chart that EA sent us but didn't tweet out, or they might have included it in one of their blogs. But if you haven't seen it, it actually explains what's in each pack because for whatever reason they don't show it, which I don't know if that's legal. I thought that was like a thing. My recommendation is only make the 85 B&D card if one of your favorite players, so if Oates or Daze, Jalicki, for example, if they're one of your favorite players, or they are a significant upgrade on your team. Because they are account bound, they will be useful, and if a new line combo comes out, they will be good. But that's it. Like you cannot trade them in the future. So it's always pretty rough to take an account bound player item. But for example, if you have Paul Coffey and you don't want to go and get Justin Barron, you can go and get Marek Jalicki, who's a small upgrade. If you have a God Squad, I don't think it's worth it because of the salary cap increase. But that being said, I went with the most I could get. I got 12 wins. I got 13 collectibles. I was able to do the Mega Pack, the HUT Champs Mega Pack, which included 8 player items, including 2 77 and above overalls and 1 83 overall. That 83 overall is a 83. I got Donato, which is really lucky, but it is not an 83 plus, which would have been huge, and what I think should happen for HUT Champs rewards. The rest of the pack was actually kind of useful. I got a couple 82s, an 81, and an 80, and a 79. I'd recommend, again, the rewards aren't huge. I just sold everything. I made like 40, 50K. The Donato alone was like 30, so I would recommend doing that. The point at which you want to stop, though, there is the HUT Premium Pack and below. The HUT Premium Pack and below, it includes 2 80 overall items. So the Premium Pack is 4 player items, 2 80 overall. I wouldn't do any of the packs below that because there isn't any guaranteed like 75 and above. Even though it says 75 and above and there's a chance you can pull a 75, at least there's a chance at something higher, right? I just don't trust any of the other ones. So if you can't get a HUT Champs Super Pack and above, I would just save your collectibles. Save it up for something a little bit better. I think the ones below that aren't that great. I'll be honest with you, I don't think any of them are all that great. I would just sell everything you get unless you pack something crazy. You don't get a ton of rewards, so anytime that you get extra packs, it's kind of sweet. But that's what I would recommend. If the cards weren't account bound, it would be fantastic because then at least in the future, you can trade in an 85 overall, and that would be pretty sweet. But that's what I did. I did the mega pack, and it was pretty half decent, so I didn't hate it. Fantasy update because it's just every day we got to do an update. Anton Lundell is on day to day. He got an upper body injury yesterday. Kind of scary, but it also highlights a reason why I just wait. So I still have not used my collectibles. I have 32 just sitting there. I'm waiting on Friday. So this is being posted Friday in the afternoon. I'm waiting to see if they give us another 8 collectibles. I don't think they will now, just because last year they only gave 32, and I think that's what they're going to follow. They only gave 32 last year. I don't think they're going to give more, even though it is almost impossible to make the sets given the cost of them. But that being said, another reason why I wait is because if you can, so if you're going to be home on the Monday or Tuesday when it ends, you can just wait and see. Someone might get injured, things like that. That can completely change things. Like if Lundell is out, for example, I would avoid the Atlantic Division pack. There's a lot of good options in it, but if you can't get like one of the best cards, I would do the Metro. And then I don't know. I mean, I guess it's probably still the Atlantic, but I mean, I would still think I'd maybe go Pacific. Central is a hard avoid. It's a 50% bust rate, so if you haven't watched my video on my rankings of the fantasy event, you can go check that out as well. But yeah, that's all I'm doing. I know everyone asks me for what I do when it comes to fantasy event currently, and that is what I am doing. Let's get into yesterday's comments and questions on the video, and we'll start with E2. He says it was 47 likes. As someone coming from FIFA, these objective requirements are absolutely ridiculous, and the time spent versus reward on every mode is so bad. Correct. One of the biggest issues with Hockey Ultimate Team, as it's always been, is that the reward for time input is very skewed compared to other games. I'm not even talking about just the potential rewards. I'm just talking about they don't give you out a lot. When I tell you guys that I think Cup Chase is half decent because of the rewards and the time it takes, it doesn't mean that I think the 3 packs you get are worth 2.5 hours in video game speak. I'm just saying that in relation to the rest of the game, it is far better than everything else in terms of the time that you've got to input. So it is rough. Like we play the game a ton and we do not get rewards a lot. I mean, if you think about it, regardless of objectives, you could play ranked for a month and not get a single reward. In fact, people are living that right now. So like it is in dire straits here, and we'll see some adjustments. Like I said, there's some positives still. I don't think it's all doom and gloom, but compared to other games like FIFA, yeah, like it is MLB too. Like it's pretty crazy. It's brutal. Jordan, oh my man, he says this is my favorite morning thing, man. You're the best. I love listening to you talk. Hut. I also love this is an old man. It is an old man game now. 33 in a month, and we just love our Chel. The fact that you're 33, dude, I think you were one of my first followers on YouTube like 9 years ago. So, man, you're 33. I can't believe that. A team of the month trade-in will probably be 285 overall team of the week and 82 overall team of the week player items. I mean, if these trends continue, so I saw earlier today, and I don't know if it's because of my video. I didn't specifically state it. I didn't think anything of it, but I try to avoid like market things for this reason, other than just looking at the market, right? That's what I do on Market Monday. But I had mentioned that, it might take two team of the week captains to make a star of the month player item. Now, 2 of the star of the month player items or team of the week items have been really good. Marner and Pettersson look to be very good. And they go for about 100 to 150,000 coins, right? Which is a lot. I bought Pettersson off the market just because I wanted him tradable. I think I got him for 100K, right? Slavkovsky I bought after week 1 for 50K. He wasn't used in any line combos, even though he is pretty popular because he's a Canadian. He stayed around 50K. And I mentioned that it's probably going to take 2. And I think everyone, or at least someone, tried to go and get all of the Slavkovskys for like 80K and below and then relist them at 100, and it's not selling. So I would not rush out and buy Slavkovsky or anything like that, because the star of the month player item, think about this. If you have to trade in 2, is it worth 200,000 coins? Probably not. When master set player items you can get for like 60, and they'll be right in line with that more than likely. So I would not be, rushing to finish that. When it comes to the team of the week trade-ins and all of that, like I said, going back to the prior question or comment about objectives taking too long, I think the team of the week objectives are one of the best if you can get a full team of the week lineup. I've gotten slowly but surely, I've bought team of the week items for like 11K for the sole purpose of being able to throw them in my lineup and then using them when team of the week objectives come out. It takes like, I can get like, I play my Superstar Squad Battles or Superstar Cup Chase, and I get almost all of it done because I have an entire lineup almost now. So that is what I'm doing. But yeah, the start of the month trading is going to be very expensive for sure. Dude, some of the moments are still broken on pro level. Yeah, the ragdolling still happening. One of the most frustrating things about playing this game. It's not acknowledged. It's not going to be fixed. I don't know what to say to get them to address it. For the All-Star moments, player lock, I got them done twice doing this on my account and on my son's account. He's 11 and could not do them. If you don't have a goal in the first 10, reset until you do. I've seen player locking work for a lot of people. It didn't work for me. It might have been because I was doing it on Superstar. I know some people said that they were able to do it, but what I found was when it was a high enough difficulty, I would sit there cherry picking, and the defenseman would literally stay behind me no matter what. But that is an option to player lock. Again, on the lineup screen where you choose your jersey, you can choose what position you are. You can do that before a game, even if you're not player locked, and you can remove it as well if you are player locked. But I think it also tires. Yeah, it also tires the player out very quickly. You can stand there and regain energy, which is nice, but it does tire out the player very quickly because you hustle. Can you explain close support, wide, stay wide, and leave zone early, and the positive and negatives to all three? So these are your quick breakouts. All right. I will have a strategy video that will come out. I think I've got the strategies that I would recommend now to players, and that I'm waiting for my subathon to be done because this video takes me like 10 to 20 hours because I really go in depth to try and get all the examples and all of that. When it comes to, here's the best way to describe it. If you are playing someone who is very aggressive and you are not able to get away from them, okay, because there's no outlet, close support will essentially keep the centerman or a player in the front of the goaltender. So if you're in behind the net or you're around the boards and you get the puck, there should be someone right in front, and that should be your first read, right? When using close support. So you can hit the guy in front of the net and then skate it out, and you can choose what winger to go to, or you can skate it out yourself. I would do that if someone is being very aggressive, or if they are sending only one forechecker. If they're only sending one forechecker. The other one, stay wide. So what happens there is I believe it's the weak side winger. So the weak side is the side that the puck is not on. So if you're on the bottom left, the weak side winger will stay wide instead of cutting into the middle at any point. So the way to get around this is that if you get pressured really hard on the left side, you could turn around and fire a slap shot all the way around the boards, or you can hard pass it and that player should still be there. It's not a bad breakout, but I would really choose between leave zone early and close support. In this game, I don't know why, but the slap pass is back, and it's back in a very weird way because the slap pass used to be one of the best plays in like NHL 21, NHL like 18 to 21, where you could do leave zone early, and if someone wasn't covering it along the boards, you could just hammer a slap shot around the boards, and it would send them. It was a play like I used to show you guys how to do if you go back and look at my strategy video. I loved it. This year, you can fire a slap shot near your bench, and no matter what it hits, your player will receive it. I don't know how. Like, I do it a couple times a game, especially when you're in the second period, because you have the long change. But leave zone early will really assist with that, too. So leave zone early your wingers, when you've got the breakout, you want to use leave zone early if they are attacking with multiple people, and they're not very good at it. So if they're sending like the 2-3 or 1-2-2, something like that, you can use leave zone early and just fire it to the winger, and you're gonna more than likely get a 2-on-1 or a breakaway when you do that. So it all depends on how your opponent is forechecking you, as opposed to which one is the end all be all. I used to message L2 scumbags, but I've matured. As soon as I see someone abuse L2, I just quit the game and move on. When you learn people don't care if they're scumbags or not, you'll stop wasting your time, BPs. I'm with you. The L2, if you've been watching my streams lately, I've been messing around with how to puck protect. Not the L2 and what you guys think is the glitch. Not the speed burst one. I'm talking about just learning how to turn my back to the opponent. And I can understand, like, that's a very frustrating thing to play against because it looks unnatural. It's not real hockey. I'm with you on that. And yeah, I mean, like, Thrash just quits out too. I'm too competitive. I can't do that. I just lean forward gamer stance, but I can understand. Will icons and other meta cards upgrade in overall when XP Season 2 begins? Or do they simply stay at 86 and new icons release at 88 and 90? Love the videos, man. Yeah, they're stuck. Again, the year-long chase cards or the upgradable cards, they don't like those. They got rid of them. So when Season 2 drops, I would anticipate icons are 88. 87 would be a slow burn. I would assume 88, and heroes are 86. That's my guess. Everything goes up by 2, because they usually go up +1 every month in terms of like the overall cards. So I think that's what we'll see. Someone asked me, do you think if trading in 2 80 or 2 icons for one of the newer icons? Maybe, but I would anticipate it's just alumni. But I don't know if they're releasing new alumni just like base cards. I haven't seen any. So I guess, Yeah, because they're alumni cards, not like event items. So yeah, it might be icons. It might be. I mean, for the most part, if you've been playing for a while, you probably have like the same 5. So the only ones you're missing are like Chelios, Pronger, Lundqvist, maybe, and Joe Thornton. Um, but yeah, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more you might be able to trade to it. I don't know. This content team just does new things. Like they always keep you on your toes. I've made 3 fantasy hockey cards. The first one I received was via the exchange sets, and the other 2, good lord. So it is possible, by the way. The other 2 finishing all the challenges as well as the moments. Believe me, guys, the last 4 moments are possible. Don't give up. Yeah, I was gonna release a video on it in terms of the moments. If people are still struggling today, I will. I just have run out of time. I've been streaming nonstop, so I spent a lot of time yesterday doing videos, and I tried to do that entirely. I remember you mentioning there were no changes to the auction house in a previous episode, and it got me thinking: what if the players could request specific cards and set the price they're willing to pay in a separate section of the auction house? This would help it make it easier to find rare cards that don't often appear, and would also make sellers quickly move cards they want to offload. That's the buy and sell order system in MLB. I pray to the heavens that we ever get something like that. So, we'll see, but I doubt it. Like, so what he's describing is, let's say you want to buy Connor McDavid at 300K. You would put in a buy order to buy Connor McDavid at 300K. If anyone got him and wanted to sell him immediately, they could sell him for the highest buy order and just immediately. If you're at the top of the list, you're at the top of the list. It's great because what happens is overnight, not many people are playing just the Euros, and everything goes up in price because there isn't a lot of stuff being bought or posted. Sorry, there's not a lot of stuff being posted, so the auction house dries out a little bit. Not a ton, but it dries out a little bit, and you see things being more expensive at night. Finally, someone talking about that because it was a pain in the ass for the fantasy set to finish because it's only 80 and not above. No, I feel you, man. 100% agree. And I hope I see again, I hope we continue to see some improvements with the fantasy event. We still have a couple days. Cool one says, hey, Slaves, great video as usual. Hope you're doing well. I just had a quick question relating to defense. I really stink at it, like badly. Do you have any tips besides praying that switches to the right person and body checking them? I'm really struggling to get to Silver 2 to do some champs. Hopefully win a game or 2 in it. Thanks in advance. Cool one. Having a great time with your subathon, by the way. Appreciate that, buddy. So my advice to everyone in a blanket statement in this game is to move. I'm trying to articulate this clearly because the first response is going to be some skill zoning, and I don't mean skill zoning. When you are manually pressing a player, you want to almost always go left and right and never towards them. And you want to use your CPU as obstacles that they have to get out of the way of. And the way that you get the puck back in this game is to take your manually controlled player and run them into once they've run out of room. So an example would be someone's curling in the corner and there's a defender standing right there, your AI, okay? And they attack towards your net a little bit. So that would inherently make your opponent curl back around and go towards the boards again. You would take your AI, your music control player, and run there, right? Again, you're trying to get out of the way. It's a very difficult thing to learn, but moving less is what you do. Player switching the least amount as possible is really beneficial in this game because they've taken away almost all of the defensive mechanics in the game. We've talked about stick lifting and poke-checking and things like that, but even hitting for the most part is sometimes pretty suspect. So I just try and run them into players and hopefully get some incidental contact. But I will have a video that will go over all of the stuff that I would recommend for defense. It is a very poor game defensively. I say this a lot. My take on NHL's gameplay this year is it is the best, in my opinion, the most fun I've had offensively. It is the worst defensively since like NHL 18. And that's unfortunate, right? Like that's unfortunate because it's just the poke checking. It's honestly just the stick lifting. The stick lifting gets me more because the stick lifting literally you will get a stick lift inside positioning and they will get their stick back down immediately. If their stick just didn't grab the puck immediately and you were able to stick lift them and then get the puck because your stick is technically lower if you were to stick lift them, everything would be fine. But it's like you get a slight delay when you stick lift and they don't. And that's the big issue, right? The one good thing about the fantasy event is that it only includes the NHL players for the B&D. Last year, European players were included, so at least that this is better. They are really going away from highlighting the European and PWHL players from marquee events. I think this is just taking the sets into account, taking the data that they've received over the year and that not a lot of people made them. Was it nice for European players to have some Europeans? Yes, I'm sure. But the player base is like what, 10, 15x in North America than it is in Europe. And even the people in Europe weren't making the European cards. So, it's the fantasy event is so good because we watch the games. And the majority of the player base doesn't play over in Europe. It's NHL, not hockey 26, right? This is a super small thing, but I really wish the game tracks stats for each mode. I want to know how many goals I've scored with specific players or my tendies online save percentage, so I can move lines around based on the feedback in ranked modes, not all combined. I beg, man. I beg for this because I'm with you 100%. I want to know if my player is struggling offensively or something, or my goaltender is online compared to offline, because it just ruins the stats. So I'm with you completely there. I hope we see that maybe one day, but the leaderboards this year have been an absolute mess, and I don't know if they know how to make them correctly. So that is going to do it for today's episode. Today we will get week two of the marquee event, so I'll have a full breakdown on that. Thank you guys again for watching. Come check out my Twitch subathon. My stream is still going. I think I've got about 11 hours left. I'm running a gifted sub promo, so if you want to extend the time and show some support to the channel, you can do so on Twitch. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.